Buonasera, welcome back to our sessions. And before starting, can I ask you to like, subscribe, and share the videos if you know somebody who could benefit from them. I hope you are enjoying them, and please do leave comments and questions as well if there is anything you'd like something that you don't understand, that is not clear, or you want to know more about. If you write a comment, I'll make sure I dedicate a whole session answering your questions. Now, let's begin. Let's start with a very quick session, as usual, how to translate some from English into Italian, of course. So, for example, if we want to say sometimes, some days, etc. In Italian, we can use qualche, or we can use alcuni maschile or alcune femminile. They are exactly the same. However, the meaning is the same. However, qualche is used with a singular noun, so qualche volta. Instead, alcuni and alcune are used with plural nouns. With this example, we would say alcune volte. So if you want to say there are some trees, c'è qualche albero, singolare, o ci sono alcuni alberi, plurale. So as I said, there's alcuni for the masculine, as you can see from the endings, alcune for the feminine. I repeat, qualche only for singular, alcuni, alcune only for plural. Something not to be confused with when we are using alcuni, alcune, is thinking that alcuno and alcuna are the singular of alcuni, alcune, but they're not. So alcuno, alcuna have a completely different meaning. In fact, they mean none. If you want to say there are no trees, there you use this one. Non c'è alcun albero. So let's not put together or associate alcuno, alcuna singular with alcuni, alcune plural, because they have a completely different meaning. The first one mean some, and this one means none. So I'm adding this little information about alcuno, alcuna, because it can be confusing. The main thing today, as I said, is how we translate some. Related to some, if we come down here, is a mistake that some people do. And they use, in fact, they make this mistake translating, obviously, from English when, for example, you say there are a few trees or a few times a week, for example, meaning there are some trees or some, it's not a fantastic translation in English, but some times a week. So do not translate a few times a week with poche in this case, because times would be feminine. Don't use this one, because pochi and poche means a few in the sense of a small number. It doesn't mean some in the same way that in English you can use few, like if, as I said, a few days a week I do whatever, or alcuni giorni alla settimana o qualche giorno alla settimana. That should be the translation for some or a few in English. However, I repeat, pochi and poche means a few, in the sense of a small number. So the opposite should be molti, molte. So few is the opposite of many. So be careful with using, be careful when you want to say some, when you want to translate some from English into Italian. Obviously, sometimes it doesn't really make a big difference when you're using if, no when. If you are using pochi poche. However, sometimes it really doesn't sound correct. And in fact, it can also be incorrect and give you a wrong translation. I think that is it. It's a very, very little, very short, brief session today. Something that has come up in one of the lessons, and it is one of the things that can confuse many, really. So if you think this has benefited you and has helped you understand this a bit more, please leave a comment and like the video. And feel free again to ask me any questions about the topics that I cover, also any other topic. By the way, at some point I will do a session about any, how to translate any, which is a lot more complicated, really. In fact, start thinking how many times you use any in English and with which meaning, in which context. There are very varied context, and they don't necessarily have the same translation in Italian. But anyway, that will be for another time. I will say goodbye now, and I will see you next time. Alla prossima, ciao.